What do you mean by saying you are his boss? Alice yelled at Felix, her voice shaking with disbelief. Her eyes moved from Felix, who was sitting calmly in expensive clothes by the poolside, to Jeff, who stood there looking guilty. Jeff, I need an explanation. What is going on here? Why would this poor thing be your boss? Jeff bowed his head in shame, unable to look Alice in the eyes. Yes, he is my boss, he whispered. He owns the cars, the mansions, everything. I was lying to you all this time. Alice felt the world spinning around her. This couldn't be real. Felix? Her ex-boyfriend Felix, who she dumped just yesterday for being too poor? The same mechanic she told wasn't good enough for her? He was now the owner of all this wealth? It was at that moment when it dawned on Alice that the man she always looked down on because he was poor is actually a billionaire's son. But how did this happen? How did a poor mechanic become a millionaire overnight? Let's go back to where it all began. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for great African folktales with moral lessons. The sound of metal hitting metal echoed through the small workshop in Surulere, Lagos. Felix wiped the sweat from his forehead and smiled. He had just fixed another Mercedes-Benz engine. At 25 years old, Felix was known as the best Mercedes specialist in the area. People came from far and wide to bring their cars to him. Felix! Customer day wait outside, his colleague shouted. Felix cleaned his hands with a rag and walked outside. The hot Lagos sun hit his face immediately. A woman stood beside a black Mercedes C-Class. Good afternoon, Ma. What is the problem? Felix asked politely. The engine is making a strange sound. My husband said I should bring it to you. He said you are the best. Felix smiled. Thank you, Ma. I will check it now. As he opened the bonnet, his phone rang. It was Alice. His face brightened immediately. Baby, how are you? He answered. I'm fine. Are you still coming to see me this evening? Yes, now. I finish work by 6 p.m. I will buy that your favorite kunu and meat pie on my way. Alice laughed on the other end. You and this kunu? Okay, I'm waiting for you. Felix had been dating Alice for 5 years. They met when she was 18 and he was 20. Back then, he was just starting his mechanic work, sleeping in the workshop at night because he had no place to stay. Alice was in secondary school, living with her aunt who treated her badly. They were both struggling, but they had each other. Felix worked hard and saved money. When Alice gained admission into Lagos State University to study business administration, Felix was the one who paid her school fees. Every semester, he would hustle extra jobs, fix more cars, even skip meals, just to make sure Alice had money for school. That girl will leave you when she finishes school, his friends would tell him. You are wasting your money. But Felix didn't listen. He loved Alice genuinely. He had plans to marry her after she graduated. He was already saving money to rent a small flat where they could start their life together. That evening, Felix closed his workshop and stopped by Mama Sade's kiosk to buy kunu and meat pie. He also bought a small bottle of perfume he had been saving for. It cost him 3,000 naira, but he wanted to surprise Alice. When he got to her lodge in Yaba, Alice opened the door wearing a simple gown. Her natural beauty always struck Felix. She was tall, with smooth dark skin and a beautiful smile. Come in. You look tired, Alice said, noticing the oil stains still on his work trousers. I am fine. Work was plenty today. See, I bought this for you. Felix brought out the perfume. Alice's eyes widened. Felix, this perfume costs money. Oh, you shouldn't have. You deserve it. You are writing exams next week. I want you to feel good. Alice hugged him tight. Thank you. You are too good to me. They sat together eating the kunu and meat pie while Alice told him about her day in school. Felix listened, happy just to be with her. Before he left, he gave her 8,000 naira. This is for your feeding this week. I will bring the exam money on Friday. Felix, what about you? You need money too. Don't worry about me. I have enough. But Alice knew he was lying. She had seen his worn-out shoes and the way his phone screen was cracked because he couldn't afford to fix it. Everything he had, he gave to her. The next day, Alice was in school when her friend Margaret approached her during break time. "Alice, I've been looking for you everywhere. Come, let me gist you something." Margaret was Alice's course mate. She was always dressed in expensive clothes, new wigs every week, and carried designer's bags. Alice never knew how Margaret afforded all these things, because Margaret's parents were not rich. "You see that guy in final year? The one driving that white Lexus?" Margaret pointed across the campus. "He has been asking of you." "Me? I don't even know him." That's how it starts. "Alice, let me ask you something. How old are you now?" "I'm 23. "Exactly. You are 23 years old. You are a beautiful girl, with a body that most girls are paying money to get in hospitals. But look at you, wearing this simple clothes, no expensive bag, no nice shoes. Meanwhile, you have a boyfriend. What is that your boyfriend doing for you?" "Margaret, Felix is a good man. He is the one paying my school fees." "School fees?" Margaret laughed. "Alice, there are men in this Lagos that will not only pay your school fees, they will buy you a car, rent you an apartment, and give you 200,000 naira every week just for spending. And you are here managing with a mechanic boyfriend who brings you kunu?" Alice felt uncomfortable. "Margaret, I love Felix. He has been there for me since the beginning. Love doesn't pay bills, my dear. Let me tell you something. I used to think like you. I used to have one boyfriend who was managing me, buying me recharge card, and taking me to Mr. Biggs to eat. But one day, I opened my eyes. Now, the man I'm with, he gives me 200,000 naira every 2 weeks. I don't ask him, he just sends it. Look at this bag." Margaret raised her handbag. 35,000 naira. These shoes, 28,000 naira. This wig, 40,000 naira. "Alice, you are too fine to be suffering." Alice didn't say anything, but Margaret's words stayed in her mind. 2 weeks later, Alice was walking home from campus. The sun was setting and the streets were busy with people rushing home from work. A black BMW car slowed down beside her. "Excuse me, beautiful queen," a voice called out. Alice ignored it and kept walking. Men were always trying to talk to her on the street. "Please, I'm not a bad person. I just want to give you a ride. The sun is hot." Alice glanced at the car. The man inside looked young, maybe in his late 20s. He was wearing a nice shirt and had a gold chain around his neck. The car was clean and expensive looking. "No thank you. I'm almost home," Alice said, and increased her pace. The car followed her slowly. "At least let me know your name." "My name is Jeff." Alice didn't respond. She turned into her street, and the car finally drove away. The next day, the same BMW was parked outside her lodge when she was leaving for school. Jeff stepped out of the car. "Please don't be afraid. I'm not a bad person. I saw you yesterday and I couldn't stop thinking about you. You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life." "I have a boyfriend," Alice said firmly. "I'm not asking you to leave him. I just want to be your friend. Can I at least have your number so we can talk?" "No. Please excuse me, I'm late for class." Jeff watched her walk away. He smiled to himself. This one is different. I must get her. For the next 2 weeks, Jeff kept showing up, sometimes outside her school, sometimes on her street. He never pressured her, just greeted her politely, and drove away. Alice found herself noticing his expensive clothes, his clean car, the way he smelled of rich cologne. One afternoon, Margaret saw Jeff talking to Alice outside the school gate. "Alice, who is that fine man with that BMW? Talk true, you donde see another person?" Margaret teased when Jeff left. "No, oh, he has just been disturbing me. I keep telling him I have a boyfriend." "Disturbing you? Alice, are you mad? You see this kind of man and you are saying he is disturbing you? Do you know how much that car costs? That is at least 15 million naira BMW. Alice, let me tell you something. You better give that man a chance before another girl collects him. Your mechanic boyfriend cannot give you what that man can give you. Margaret, I told you I love Felix. Love? Alice, wake up. You think say na love you go chop? Look at you, you are struggling. Last week you called me to borrow 2,000 naira for data. 2,000 naira. Meanwhile, this man driving 15 million naira car wants to help you and you are forming. Alice, I'm talking to you as your friend. Open your eyes. That evening, Alice was in her room thinking. Felix had called earlier to say he couldn't come see her because he had to work late to finish a car. He sounded tired on the phone. Alice looked around her small room. The ceiling was leaking in one corner. Her bed was old and the mattress was worn out. She thought about how Felix struggled to give her money, how he wore the same 3 shirts to work, how his phone was held together with tape. Her phone beeped. It was a message from an unknown number. Hi Alice, this is Jeff. I got your number from your friend Margaret. I know you said you have a boyfriend and I respect that. But I also believe that a queen like you deserves to be treated like royalty. Tomorrow is Saturday. Let me take you to lunch. No strings attached. Just lunch. If you don't like it, I will never disturb you again. Please say yes. Alice stared at the message for a long time. She thought about Margaret's words. She thought about Felix. She thought about her life. Finally, she typed, "Okay, just lunch." The next day, Jeff picked Alice up in his BMW. He took her to a fancy restaurant in Victoria Island. Alice had never been to such a place. The menu had no prices, and the waiters wore uniforms cleaner than her best dress. Order anything you want, Jeff said with a smile. Alice felt out of place but also excited. Jeff was charming and funny. He told her about his life, his business, his travels. He made her laugh. When the bill came, Jeff paid 45,000 naira without blinking. As he drove her home, Jeff said, "I had a wonderful time today. You are not just beautiful, you are intelligent and interesting. I would love to see you again." Jeff, I told you I have a boyfriend. I know, and I'm not asking you to leave him. I just want to take care of you. Let me be your friend, a special friend, who wants to see you happy. Is that too much to ask? Before Alice could answer, Jeff's phone beeped. He opened it and showed her a bank alert. Someone had just sent him 500,000 naira. Business payment. He said casually. Then he looked at Alice. Alice, life is short. You are too beautiful to be struggling. Think about it. He dropped her off and drove away. Alice stood outside her lodge for a long time, confused. That night, Felix came to see her. He brought her kunu and akara. He was excited. Baby, I have good news. I got a big job today. A man brought his Range Rover and I will finish it next week. He will pay me 50,000 naira. With that money, I can pay your next semester fees and still have money to buy you that laptop you wanted. Alice looked at Felix's happy face. His hands were still dirty from work. His shirt had a tear near the collar. She felt guilty. That's good, she said quietly. Alice, what's wrong? You don't look happy. I'm fine. Just tired from school. Felix hugged her. Don't worry. Very soon things will get better. I'm working hard. One day, I will have my own big workshop, and we will live in a nice house. I promise you. Alice hugged him back, but her mind was far away. The next Monday, Alice called Jeff. I want to see you again. Jeff smiled on the other end of the phone. I'll pick you up in 30 minutes. From that day, Alice started living 2 lives. During the day, she was Felix's girlfriend, the struggling student, who he supported with everything he had. At night and on weekends, she was with Jeff, going to clubs, eating at expensive restaurants, and receiving gifts. Jeff bought her a new phone, an iPhone 13 Pro. Felix was happy for her when she told him she won it in a school competition. Jeff sent her 50,000 naira for upkeep. Alice told Felix her aunt sent her money. Jeff bought her expensive wigs, shoes, and bags. Alice hid them and only wore them when she was with Jeff. Margaret encouraged her. You see now? This is what I was telling you. You are enjoying your life. That your mechanic boyfriend doesn't even know what he is missing. But Alice felt guilty every time Felix called. She started avoiding his calls. When he came to see her, she would make excuses that she was busy with school, work, or tired. One evening, Felix showed up at her lodge unannounced. He knocked on the door for 10 minutes before Alice finally opened it. She was wearing one of the expensive wigs Jeff bought her. Alice, why have you been avoiding me? I have been calling you for 3 days. Is everything okay? I told you I'm busy with school. I have projects and exams. But you can't even see me for 5 minutes? Alice, what is going on? Talk to me. Alice felt cornered. All the guilt she had been feeling suddenly turned to anger. Felix, maybe we need to take a break. Felix looked like someone had slapped him. What? A break? Alice, what are you saying? I'm saying, maybe we are moving too fast. We are still young. Maybe we should focus on ourselves for now. Focus on ourselves? Alice, I have been working day and night to support you. I have been paying your fees, giving you money, buying you things. Now, you want to take a break? And I'm grateful for everything you have done. But Felix, look at yourself. Look at me. We are in different places now. Different places? What does that mean? Alice's voice became cold. It means I'm in university now. I'm meeting different kinds of people. People who have things to offer. And you. You are just a mechanic, Felix. You are a good person, but you are poor. You can't give me the life I want. Felix stood there in shock. He couldn't believe the words coming from Alice's mouth. This was the same girl he had fed when she was hungry. The same girl he paid school fees for. The same girl he loved with everything in him. So that's what this is about? Money? Alice, I thought you were different. I thought you loved me. I did love you, Felix. But love is not enough. I need someone who can take care of me properly. Someone who has money. I'm sorry. Felix felt tears burning his eyes, but he refused to let them fall. Okay, I understand. So all these years meant nothing to you? Felix, please go. Don't make this harder than it is. Felix turned to leave, then stopped. Alice, I pray that you find what you are looking for, but I also pray that one day you will realize that money is not everything. Real love is rare, and you are throwing it away. He walked out of her life that night. Alice closed the door and sat on her bed. She felt terrible, but she pushed the feeling away. Margaret's words echoed in her head. You did the right thing. That poor boy was just holding you back. Felix went back to his workshop that night and cried. He had never felt such pain. He had lost his mother when he was 15 years old, but this pain was different. This was the pain of betrayal. He had given Alice everything, and she threw him away like garbage because he was poor. God, why? He whispered into the darkness. Why do good people always suffer? But Felix didn't know that God had already set a plan in motion for him. A plan that would change his life forever. Far away in Banana Island, in one of the biggest mansions in Lagos, a billionaire named Peter was having breakfast with his wife, Jane. Peter was 55 years old and owned Peter Holdings, a conglomerate with businesses in real estate, oil and gas, and imports. He was worth over 20 billion naira. But for all his wealth, Peter had one regret that haunted him every day: his first son. 26 years ago, Peter was a young man in university. He fell in love with a beautiful girl named Helen Nijoku. They dated for 3 years, and Helen got pregnant. Peter was ready to marry her, but his parents refused. You cannot marry that poor girl, his father had shouted. We have already arranged for you to marry Jane, the daughter of Chief Williams. That marriage will secure our business future. You will marry Jane, or we will disown you. Peter tried to fight, but his family's pressure was too much. They threatened to cut him off completely if he didn't obey. Young and afraid, Peter abandoned Helen and married Jane. But Peter never forgot Helen. He sent her money every month to support their son. He called her regularly to check on them. But then, suddenly, Helen's number stopped working. Peter tried to find her, but couldn't. He didn't know that his wife Jane had found out about Helen and sent thugs to threaten her. "Stop calling my husband," Jane had screamed at Helen. "Take your bastard child and disappear. If I hear that you contacted Peter again, I will destroy you." Helen was poor and afraid. She changed her number and moved to a different area. She struggled to raise their son alone, working as a cleaner to survive. Years later, she fell sick. She needed surgery but couldn't afford it. Helen died when their son was just 15 years old, leaving him alone in the world. Peter never knew about Helen's death. He spent years searching for her and their son. He hired private investigators, but they found nothing. Helen had disappeared too completely. Now, 26 years later, Peter was a very rich man, but sad inside. He had 3 daughters with Jane, but no son. In the Igbo culture, a son was important to carry on the family name. Peter wanted his first son, the child he had abandoned, but he didn't know if the boy was even alive. "Peter, stop thinking about that woman and her child," Jane said, noticing his sad face at breakfast. "It's been over 20 years. Move on. That child is my son, Jane, my flesh and blood. I need to find him." Jane felt her heart race. She had kept the secret for 26 years. She had driven Helen away and made sure Peter never found them. She couldn't let him find his son now. She had 3 daughters, and if Peter found a son, that son would inherit everything. She couldn't let that happen. "Your vintage Mercedes is making that noise again," Jane said, changing the subject. "You need to call someone to fix it." Peter loved that old Mercedes. It was the last gift his own father had given him before he died. He kept it in the garage, perfectly maintained. "I need someone who knows old Mercedes cars. Those new mechanics don't know how to handle vintage cars. I heard there is a young mechanic in Surulere who is very good with Mercedes-Benz. They say he is the best," one of the house helps mentioned. "Really? What is his name?" "I think his name is Felix, sir." Jane froze when she heard the name. Felix? Could it be? No. Impossible. That was a common name. "Find him and bring him here. I want him to check my car," Peter instructed. The next afternoon, Felix was working in his workshop when a man in a suit walked in. "Are you Felix, the Mercedes specialist?" "Yes, sir. How can I help you?" "My boss has a vintage Mercedes that needs repair. He wants you to come to his house to fix it. He will pay you well." Felix was surprised. Usually customers brought their cars to him, not the other way around. But the man looked serious, and the pay would surely be good. "Okay, sir, when?" "Now. Come with me." Felix cleaned himself up quickly and got into the car. It was a black BMW. As they drove through Lagos, Felix noticed they were heading towards the rich areas: Victoria Island, Lekki, then Banana Island. Felix had never been to Banana Island. This was where the super-rich lived: governors, senators, billionaires. The houses were like palaces. The car stopped in front of a massive gate. The security opened it, and they drove into a compound that looked like a small estate. Felix's eyes widened. The house was huge, painted white with gold trimmings. There were fountains, a swimming pool, and beautiful gardens. Several expensive cars were parked in the garage: Range Rovers, Mercedes-Benz, a Rolls-Royce. "My God," Felix whispered. The man led him to the garage, where an old Mercedes-Benz was parked. Felix's eyes lit up. It was a 1975 Mercedes-Benz W116, a classic beauty. "This is it." The boss said it's making a strange sound. Felix opened the bonnet and started checking. As he worked, the house staff gathered around, watching him. They started whispering among themselves. Ah, this boy resemble Oga O. I swear, look at his face. Naoga Jr. be this. The nose, the eyes, even the way he stands. Jane was upstairs in her room when the cook knocked on her door. Madam, please come and see something. What is it? I'm busy. Madam, very important something, please come. Jane followed the cook downstairs. As soon as she saw Felix bent over the car engine, her blood ran cold. Even from the back, the resemblance was clear. The build, the height, the way he moved. Call him. I want to see his face, Jane whispered to the cook. The cook walked over. Excuse me, young man. Madam wants to talk to you. Felix stood up and turned around. Jane gasped and had to hold the wall for support. It was like looking at a young Peter. The same face, same eyes, same nose. This was Peter's son. There was no doubt. Jane's mind raced. What should she do? If Peter came down now and saw this boy, he would recognize him immediately. She had to get rid of Felix before Peter saw him. What is your name? Jane asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Felix, Ma. Felix, what is your full name? Felix Njoku, Ma. Njoku, Helen's surname. Jane felt dizzy. This was definitely the boy. Where are your parents? Are they alive? Felix's face became sad. My mother died when I was 15, Ma. I never knew my father. Your mother, what was her name? Helen Njoku, Ma. Jane felt her heart would explode. This was Helen's son, Peter's son, standing in her house, working on Peter's favorite car. Tell me about your mother. What did she do? Felix wondered why this woman was asking so many personal questions, but he answered respectfully. My mother was a cleaner, Ma. She struggled to take care of me. She fell sick and died because we didn't have money for hospital. Before she died, she told me that my father was a rich man, but he abandoned us. She said he married someone else and forgot about us. Jane felt a bit of guilt, but it quickly turned to fear and anger. She couldn't let this boy destroy everything she had built. She had 3 daughters depending on her. This boy would take everything from them if Peter knew. How much are they paying you to fix this car? Jane asked suddenly. I don't know yet, Ma. I will tell them my price when I finish. Okay. Finish quickly and go. I will tell them to pay you well. Jane rushed back upstairs and called Peter. Don't come down to the garage today. I don't want you to stress yourself. Just let the boy finish and test the car tomorrow. But I want to see my car now, Peter complained. Peter, please, for me. Tomorrow morning you will check it properly. Peter agreed reluctantly. Jane watched from her window as Felix worked on the car for 2 hours. When he finished, he told one of the staff, I'm done, but I can't collect payment until Olga tests the car. It's my policy. I need to make sure everything works well. Jane panicked. If Felix insisted on waiting for Peter, they would meet face to face. She sent the houseboy down with 100,000 naira. Give him this money and tell him to go. The houseboy ran down. Boss madam said, you should take this money and go. Olga will test the car later. Felix looked at the money. I cannot take money without testing the car. What if something goes wrong? I need Olga to check it first. The houseboy ran back to Jane with the message. Jane came downstairs herself. Young man, take the money and go. My husband is busy. Madam, I respect your husband's car too much. This is a classic Mercedes. The security system is complex. Only the owner can properly test if I fixed everything well. I will wait. Jane was about to argue when Peter's voice came from upstairs. Who is refusing to leave? Bring him to me. Let me see this dedicated mechanic. Jane's heart sank. It was over. Peter came down the stairs. He was wearing a white kaftan and gold watch. As soon as he reached the last step and saw Felix, he froze completely. Felix also froze. He saw a tall man who looked exactly like him. Same face structure, same eyes, same nose. It was like looking in a mirror, just an older version. Peter's eyes filled with tears. Helen? Is your mother Helen Njoku? Felix was shocked. Yes, sir. How? How do you know my mother? Peter walked slowly towards Felix, tears running down his face. I'm your father. My God, I'm your father. Felix stepped back, confused. What? No. My mother said my father abandoned us. She said he was rich and married someone else and forgot about us. I never forgot you. Peter's voice broke. I searched for you. For years I searched. Your mother's number stopped working. I hired people to find you, but they couldn't. My son, I never abandoned you by choice. They forced me to marry Jane, but I sent money to your mother every month until I lost contact with her. My mother died from sickness because we had no money for hospital, Felix shouted, tears in his eyes. She worked as a cleaner. We were poor. Where was your money? Peter turned to look at Jane, who was standing there with a pale face. Jane? What did you do? Jane said nothing. Peter grabbed her arm. What did you do, Jane? Tell me. I sent people to warn her to stay away from you. I told her to stop taking your money. I deleted her number from your phone. I had to protect our family, Jane cried. You killed her. You killed the woman I loved and made my son suffer. How could you? Peter shouted. The house was in chaos. The staff stood watching in shock. Jane was crying, Peter was crying, and Felix was standing there trying to process everything. Peter turned to Felix and hugged him tight, not caring about the oil and dirt on Felix's work clothes. My son, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Felix stood stiff in his father's embrace, not knowing how to feel. This man was his father, the billionaire who owned this mansion, the man his mother cried about for years? Peter pulled back and looked at Felix. From today, everything I have is yours. You are my son, my heir. You will never suffer again. He turned to one of his staff members, a young man named Jeff, who lived in one of his other properties and drove his cars. Jeff, come here. Jeff ran over. He had been watching everything in shock. Take Felix to the guest bathroom, get him cleaned up, then go to the mall and buy him new clothes. Everything he needs, shoes, watches, phones, everything. Use my card. After that, take him to the mansion in Lekki. That house is now his house. Yes, sir, Jeff said, excited to have something important to do. As Jeff led Felix away, Felix turned back to look at his father. Everything felt like a dream. Hours ago, he was a poor mechanic whose girlfriend just dumped him for being broke. Now, he was the son of a billionaire. In the bathroom, Felix washed off the dirt and oil. Jeff gave him some of Peter's clothes to wear temporarily. Then they went to the mall, where Jeff bought him everything. 5 expensive outfits, 3 pairs of shoes, a Rolex watch, an iPhone 14 Pro Max, everything. Guy, your life just changed completely. Oh, Jeff said excitedly as they shopped. You wake up as mechanic, you sleep as billionaire pecan. This is like a movie. Felix was still in shock. He could barely speak. By evening, Jeff drove Felix to the Lekki mansion. It was another massive house, not as big as the one in Banana Island, but still incredibly beautiful. It had 6 bedrooms, a pool, a gym, and a cinema room. Boss said, "This is your house now," Jeff said, showing Felix around. I was staying here before because boss told me to maintain it, but now your house. I go just to help you as your boy. Jeff didn't know about Felix and Alice's relationship. He had started dating Alice only 3 weeks ago, using Peter's cars and money, pretending to be rich. Peter allowed Jeff stay in the mansion and use one of the cars as part of his benefits for being a loyal staff member, so Jeff used these privileges to impress girls. That first night in the mansion, Felix sat outside by the pool, trying to process everything. His whole life had changed in one day. He had a father. He was rich, but his heart still hurt. His mother was gone and would never see this. And Alice had thrown him away for being poor. If only she had waited just one more day. Felix's phone rang. It was his old number that he still had. He answered. "Felix, where are you? I went to the workshop and they said you left with some people in the afternoon." It was his friend Emeka, another mechanic. "I'm fine. Something happened. I will tell you later." "Guy, you day okay? You sound strange." "I'm fine. Just, my life changed today." Felix hung up. He sat there thinking about everything. About his mother who suffered. About Alice who left him. About this new life he didn't ask for but was given. The next morning, Peter sent his driver to bring Felix to his office. Peter Holdings was located in a massive building in Victoria Island. When Felix walked in, the staff stared. By now news had spread that the boss found his son. In Peter's big office, lawyers were waiting with documents. "Felix, I'm transferring properties to your name. Houses, cars, lands, everything. You are my heir. You are now an executive of Peter Holdings. You will learn the business from me." Felix sat there as they made him sign papers. In one morning, he became owner of 3 houses, 5 cars, and had 50 million naira transferred to his new bank account. "Papa," Felix said softly. It was the first time he called Peter that. "This is too much. Yesterday I was fixing cars, today I'm signing for millions. I don't know what to do." Peter put his hand on Felix's shoulder. "Son, this is your birthright. This should have been yours from the beginning. I failed you and your mother. But God has given us a second chance. You will learn. I will teach you everything." That evening, Jeff drove Felix back to the Lekki mansion. Felix was still wearing the new expensive clothes, but he felt like a stranger in his own body. "Oga Felix, make I get you something to drink?" Jeff asked. He had started calling Felix Oga now. "Yes, get me some. What do rich people drink?" Jeff laughed. "Anything you want, sir. Champagne? Hennessy? Juice? Just get me a cocktail. Something light." Felix was sitting outside by the pool, sipping his drink and looking at the stars when the security called. "Oga, there is somebody at the gate. One fine girl say she want to see Jeff." "Let her in," Felix said absent-mindedly. A few minutes later, Felix heard footsteps coming toward him. He turned around and froze. It was Alice. Alice was walking towards the front door when she noticed someone sitting by the pool. In the evening light, she could see he was wearing expensive clothes. As she got closer, her steps slowed. No, it couldn't be. "Felix?" she whispered. Felix turned to look at her. Alice gasped. He looked completely different. Clean haircut, expensive designer shirt, gold watch on his wrist, sitting by a pool in a mansion like he owned the place. "What are you doing here?" Alice asked in shock. "I should be asking you that question," Felix replied calmly. "I'm here to see Jeff. This is his house." "Wait, why are you here? Don't tell me you came to beg him for work or something?" Felix almost laughed at the irony. Before he could answer, Jeff came running outside. "Babe, you came," Jeff said, rushing to hug Alice. Alice pushed him away. "Jeff, why is this poor boy in your house? Tell him to leave now. I don't want to see him." Jeff looked confused. "Poor boy? Alice, what are you talking about?" "That is Felix, my ex-boyfriend. The mechanic I told you about. The poor one. Jeff, tell him to get out of your house." Jeff's face went pale. He looked at Felix, then back at Alice. "Alice, this is not my house." "What do you mean it's not your house? You told me you own this place." "I lied," Jeff said quietly, his head down. "This house belongs to my boss. The cars I drive, they are his cars. The money I spend, na hin money I day adds small when he send me to buy things. I'm not rich, Alice. I'm just a staff." Alice felt the ground spinning under her feet. "What? You lied to me? All this time?" "I'm sorry. I just wanted to impress you. I knew you wouldn't look at me if I told you the truth." So whose house is this? Alice demanded. Jeff pointed at Felix. His. This is his house now. Felix is my boss. He is the son of Mr. Peter, the billionaire. He owns this mansion, the cars, everything. I work for him now. Alice felt like someone poured cold water on her head. She turned to look at Felix, her mouth open in shock. What? What is he saying? She asked Felix. Felix stood up and walked closer to her. His voice was calm, but there was pain in his eyes. It's true, Alice. Yesterday, when you told me I was too poor for you, I was still poor. But yesterday afternoon, I found my father, the father my mother told me about. He is a billionaire. All of this, Felix gestured at the mansion, belongs to him, and now it belongs to me too. I'm his only son. Alice felt her legs go weak. She had to hold on to the wall. No, this can't be true. You're lying. You're a mechanic. I was a mechanic, Felix corrected her. Because my mother died and left me alone. Because my father's wife drove my mother away and made us suffer. But God had a plan. Yesterday, the same day you threw me away like trash, God lifted me up. Alice started crying. Felix, I'm sorry. I didn't know. If I had known, I made a mistake. Please forgive me. You made a mistake? Felix's voice was still calm but hard. Alice, I loved you with everything I had. I worked day and night to pay your school fees. I went hungry so you could eat. I wore torn clothes so I could buy you perfume, and you threw me away because I was poor. You didn't make a mistake. You showed me who you really are. Felix, please, I still love you. I was confused. Margaret was putting thoughts in my head. I was stupid. Please give me another chance. Another chance? Felix shook his head. Alice, if I was still poor, would you be here begging? No. You would still be with Jeff, enjoying what you thought was his money. You don't love me. You love money. And that is something I can never fix. Jeff stood there, with his head down, feeling ashamed. He had caused his new boss to lose the woman he loved. Sir, I'm very sorry, Jeff said to Felix. I didn't know she was your ex-girlfriend. If I had known, I would never have approached her. I'm very sorry for everything. Felix looked at Jeff. You lied to her and used your boss's money to impress her. That is wrong. But Alice also chose to follow you because she thought you were rich. You are both guilty. Alice fell on her knees. Felix, please, I'm begging you. Don't do this to me. I made a mistake, please. Felix felt pain in his heart, seeing her like this. Despite everything, a part of him still remembered the girl he loved. But he also remembered her cold words just yesterday. You are just a mechanic. You are poor. You can't give me the life I want. Alice, stand up. Don't embarrass yourself like this. I don't care about embarrassment. Felix, I need you. Please. You don't need me, Alice. You need my money. There's a difference. If tomorrow I lost everything and became poor again, you would leave again. That's not love. Felix turned to Jeff. Take her home. No, Felix, please, Alice screamed. But Felix walked into the house and closed the door. He stood inside, leaning against the door, his heart breaking. He heard Alice crying outside, begging Jeff to talk to Felix for her. Finally, he heard Jeff's car drive away. Felix sat on the couch in the massive living room. Everything around him was expensive and beautiful, but he felt empty inside. His phone rang. It was Peter. Felix, how are you? Have you settled in the house? Yes, Papa. The house is very fine. Good. Tomorrow we will have a family meeting. I want to introduce you to your sisters. They are excited to meet their brother. Okay, Papa. Felix, are you okay? You sound sad. I'm fine, Papa. Just tired. Okay, my son. Rest well. Tomorrow is a new day. After the call, Felix sat in silence. He thought about his mother, how she struggled and died poor, never knowing that her son would one day live in a mansion like this. He thought about Alice. how love wasn't enough to keep her. He thought about his new life and wondered what God wanted him to do with all this wealth. The next morning, Jeff drove Felix to Peter's main mansion in Banana Island. The whole family was gathered in the big living room. Peter's 3 daughters were there: Ada, who was 22, Chioma, who was 20, and Ifioma, who was 17. They looked at Felix with curiosity. "Girls, this is Felix, your older brother," Peter announced. "He is my first son." Ada stood up and hugged Felix. "Welcome, brother. We are so happy to have you." Chioma and Ifeoma also hugged him. They were genuinely happy. Jane sat in the corner, looking bitter, but saying nothing. "From today, Felix will be learning the family business," Peter continued. "He will work with me at Peter Holdings. He is the heir to everything I have built." After the meeting, Ada pulled Felix aside. "Brother Felix, I want you to know we are truly happy to have you. Don't mind Mummy's face, she is just worried about money. But we are happy to have a brother." Felix smiled. His sisters were kind. That was good. The next few weeks were like a dream for Felix. He went to the office with Peter every day, learning about the business. He met important people: governors, senators, business tycoons. He attended parties and meetings. News spread quickly around Lagos about the mechanic who became a billionaire's son overnight. One day, Felix went back to Surulere, where his old workshop was. His friend Emeka nearly fainted when he saw Felix step out of a Range Rover with a driver. "Felix, my guy! I don't hear the news, but I no believe him. Oh, see you now. You don't become big man." Felix hugged his friend. "Emeka, I came to check on you. How is business?" "Business, they go somehow. But guy, look at you. You wear designer from head to toe. Even your shoes shine past mirror." Felix laughed. It felt good to be with his old friend, someone who knew him when he was poor. "Emeka, I want to help you expand your workshop. How much do you need?" "Felix, you no need to do that. Oh, I want to do it. You were there for me when I had nothing. Now that I have something, I must remember my people." Felix gave Emeka 5 million naira to expand his workshop and buy new equipment. He also went to find Mama Sade, who used to sell him kunu and snacks on credit when he was broke. "Mama Sade. Ah, Felix, my pekin. I don't hear say you don't become big man. God is wonderful." Felix gave Mama Sade 2 million naira. "Mama, thank you for always giving me food even when I didn't have money to pay immediately. This is to say thank you." Mama Sade cried tears of joy. Felix went around Surulere, helping everyone who had been kind to him when he was poor. He gave money to the old woman who let him sleep in her corridor when he had nowhere to stay. He gave money to the man who taught him how to fix Mercedes-Benz engines. News of Felix's generosity spread quickly. People called him a good man who didn't forget his roots. One evening, Felix was at home when Jeff came to talk to him. "Oga Felix, I want to confess something to you." "What is it?" "I have been stealing small from the money boss to give me for errands. That's how I was getting money to spend on girls and clubs. I'm very sorry, sir. I'm very sorry, sir. I know, say you fit tell boss makey fire me, but I just want confess. I no fit carry this guilt again." Felix looked at Jeff for a long moment. "How much have you stolen in total?" "Maybe around 3 million naira over the past 2 years, sir." "And Alice? You really cared about her, or you just wanted to use her?" Jeff's face showed genuine regret. "Sir, at first I just wanted to use her. She was very fine, and I wanted to show off. But as we day go out, I begin get feelings for her. When I found out, say, your ex-girlfriend, I felt very bad. I caused you pain, sir. I'm very sorry." Felix was quiet. Then he said, "Jeff, you made mistakes. But at least you have the courage to confess. Many people would have kept quiet. I will not tell my father. But from now on, you must change. Stop stealing. Stop lying. Be honest in everything you do." "Thank you, sir. Thank you. I will change, sir. I promise. And that 3 million naira you stole, you will pay it back. But not to my father. I want you to use that money to start a small business. Stop depending only on salary. Build something for yourself. Can you do that? Jeff was shocked. Sir, you want to help me start business after I stole from your papa? I'm giving you a chance to change your life, Jeff. Don't waste it. Jeff knelt down. Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. I will not disappoint you. As the weeks turned to months, Felix settled into his new life. But there was an emptiness inside him that money couldn't fill. He missed his mother every day. He still thought about Alice sometimes, wondering if things would have been different if she had just loved him for who he was. One day, Peter called Felix to his office. Son, you have been doing very well in the business. I'm proud of you, but I see sadness in your eyes. Talk to me. What is bothering you? Felix sighed. Papa, I have everything now. Money, cars, houses. But I'm not happy. I feel like something is missing. Is it about that girl? The one who left you? Felix was surprised. How did you know? Jeff told me everything. He felt he needed to confess to me too. Son, let me tell you something. I loved your mother Helen more than anything in this world, but I was weak. I let my family pressure me into marrying Jane. I lived with regret every single day. When I lost contact with your mother, a part of me died. Money didn't make me happy. This big house didn't make me happy. Only finding you gave me joy again. So what should I do, Papa? Learn from my mistake. Don't let money be your god. Yes, money is important. We need it to survive. But character is more important. Love is more important. Your mother was poor, but she had the most beautiful heart. She loved me genuinely. Jane is from a rich family, but she has a wicked heart. She caused your mother's death because of jealousy and greed. Felix listened carefully. Peter continued, That girl, Alice, she chose money over love. But don't be bitter about it. Some people need to lose something valuable before they realize its worth. Maybe one day she will learn. But you, my son, must learn this lesson now. Treat people well, whether you are rich or poor. Stay humble. Remember where you came from. Use your wealth to help others, not to oppress them. That is how you will find true happiness. These words stayed with Felix. He decided to dedicate his life to helping others. He began quietly paying school fees for poor students. He sponsored medical treatments for people who couldn't afford hospitals. He did it all quietly, without posting on social media or looking for praise. One Saturday afternoon, 6 months after Felix's life changed, he was at a charity event where Peter Holdings was donating books to schools. As Felix was handing out books to children, he saw a familiar face in the crowd. It was Margaret, Alice's friend. Margaret was looking rough. Her expensive wigs were gone. She was wearing simple clothes and looking thin. After the event, Margaret approached Felix. Felix, please can I talk to you? Felix remembered this was the girl who convinced Alice to leave him, but he remained calm. Yes. What is it? I came to beg you. I know, say, I put bad thoughts for Alice's head. I was the one who told her to leave you. I made her think, say, money is everything. I'm very sorry. Why are you telling me this now? Margaret started crying. Because everything's spoiled for me. The man who was giving me money, they catch Am, say he is a fraudster. Yahoo boy. Police arrest Am and carry all him property. Misef. They question me. My family don disown me, say I'm bringing them shame. I don suffer. I no get where to stay. I no get money to chop. Felix, I'm begging you. Help me. Felix looked at her. He felt pity. This girl was paying the price for chasing material things. Margaret, I will help you, but not by giving you money to waste. I will pay for you to learn a skill. Tailoring, catering, hairdressing, anything you want. After you learn, I will give you money to start a small business. But you must promise to change. Stop chasing men for money. Work hard and build your own life. Margaret fell on her knees. Thank you, Felix. Thank you. God bless you. I will change. I promise. Felix helped Margaret enroll in a catering school. He also paid 6 months' rent for a small room for her. One evening, Felix was alone in his Lecky mansion when security called. Oga, there is one woman for gate. She say her name na Alice. She say she need to see you. Wetin, I go tell am? Felix's heart beat faster. Alice. He hadn't seen her since that night 6 months ago. Let her in. A few minutes later, Alice walked into the living room. Felix was shocked by how she looked. She had lost weight. Her face looked tired and sad. She wasn't wearing expensive clothes or makeup. She looked like the simple girl he fell in love with years ago. Felix, she said quietly, thank you for seeing me. Sit down. Alice sat on the edge of the sofa, nervous. I came to say I'm sorry. I know say I hurt you very well. I was stupid. I was greedy. I listened to Margaret, and I lost the best thing that ever happened to me. Felix said nothing, just watched her. Alice continued, tears running down her face. These past 6 months have been hell for me. After that night when I found out the truth, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Guilt was killing me inside. I finished my exams, but I can't even remember what I wrote because my mind was full of regret. I kept thinking about all the times you went hungry so I could eat. All the times you worked extra hours so you could pay my fees. How you loved me when I had nothing to offer you. Why are you telling me this now? Felix asked. Because I need you to know that I realized my mistake. I'm not here to beg you to take me back. I know, say, I don't fuck up big time, and I don't deserve another chance. I just came to tell you sorry, and to tell you something else. What? Thank you. Thank you for loving me when nobody else did. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for paying my school fees so I could graduate. Because of you, I have a degree now. I got a small job in a school as a secretary. The pay is small, only 40,000 naira a month. But it's honest work. I'm living in my aunt's house again. Life is hard, but I'm learning to survive with dignity, and I owe it all to you. Felix felt emotions rising in his chest. This was not the Alice who told him he was too poor. This was not the Alice who chased money and material things. This was a broken woman who had learned a hard lesson. I'm happy you learned something from all this, Felix said quietly. I learned plenty things. I learned, say, money can disappear, but character lasts forever. I learned, say, real love is rare and should be protected. I learned, say, the grass is not always greener on the other side. But most importantly, I learned these lessons too late. Alice stood up. I just came to say sorry and thank you. I won't disturb you again. I wish you all the happiness in the world, Felix. You deserve it. She turned to leave. Felix watched her walking away. Something in his spirit spoke to him. His father's words came back to him. Some people need to lose something valuable before they realize its worth. Alice, wait. She stopped and turned around, hope and fear mixed on her face. I forgave you a long time ago, Felix said. Bitterness is like poison. It kills the person carrying it. I chose to forgive you so I could move on with my life. Thank you, Felix. That means a lot to me. But, Felix continued, forgiveness doesn't mean we can go back to what we were. You hurt me deeply. You showed me that your love had conditions. Real love doesn't have conditions. I know. I understand. Fresh tears rolled down Alice's face. However, Felix said, standing up, I believe people can change. I believe God gives second chances. Not a second chance at our relationship, but a second chance at life. You said you are learning to survive with dignity. I want to help you with that. Alice looked confused. What do you mean? I'm starting a foundation to help young people who want to go into business. People who have learned from their mistakes and want to build something meaningful. If you are serious about changing your life, I can help you. Not as a boyfriend, but as someone who once cared about you and still wants to see you succeed. Alice couldn't believe what she was hearing. Felix, after everything I did to you, you still want to help me? My father taught me something. He said I should use my wealth to help others, not to oppress them. He said I should remember where I came from and stay humble. Alice, I remember when we were both struggling. I remember when we were both poor, but had each other. That version of you deserved help. This version of you, who has learned and is trying to change, also deserves help. Alice broke down completely, crying like a baby. Felix, you are too good. I don't deserve this. None of us deserve the good things God gives us, but He gives anyway. That's called grace. Felix helped Alice develop a business plan. She wanted to start a small catering business. He gave her capital to start and connected her with people who could help her. But he made it clear they were not getting back together. Alice, I will always care about you, but I can't trust you with my heart again. That part of our story is over. But we can write a new story, where we both learn, grow, and become better people. Alice understood. She took the opportunity Felix gave her and worked hard. Her catering business started small but grew steadily. She remained humble and grateful. Meanwhile, Felix continued to grow in his father's business. Peter was teaching him everything: how to negotiate deals, how to treat staff fairly, how to give back to society. Felix proved to be a smart and compassionate leader. 1 year after Felix found his father, Peter Holdings had their annual staff party. It was a big event with over 500 people. Felix gave a speech that night. Good evening, everyone. Many of you know my story, how I was a poor mechanic and God lifted me up. But what many people don't know is what I learned from being poor. I learned that every person has dignity and deserves respect, whether they are sweeping the floor or sitting in the CEO's office. I learned that pride comes before a fall, and humility is the foundation of true success. I learned that money is a tool, not a god. It can build or it can destroy, depending on how you use it. The hall was silent as people listened. My mother died poor, Felix continued, his voice emotional, but she was the richest woman I ever knew because she had love in her heart. She taught me to be kind, to work hard, and to trust in God even when life is difficult. Today, I stand here as a rich man, but I pray I never forget the lessons I learned when I was poor. I pray that this wealth makes me a better person, not a worse one. Everyone stood up and clapped. There were tears in many eyes. After the event, Peter hugged his son. Felix, I'm so proud of you. You have a good heart. That is worth more than all the money in the world. 2 years passed. Felix was now fully running Peter Holdings alongside his father. The business was growing, and Felix had earned respect in the business community. People no longer saw him as just the mechanic who got lucky. They saw him as a smart businessman who treated people well. Jeff had also changed completely. He had started a small logistics business with the chance Felix gave him. He was doing well and had become an honest man. He and Felix became good friends. One day, Felix was in his office when his secretary told him someone wanted to see him. Who is it? She said her name is Alice, sir, but she doesn't have an appointment. Felix was surprised. He hadn't seen Alice in almost a year, though he heard her catering business was doing very well. Send her in. Alice walked into his office, looking completely different from the broken woman he saw 2 years ago. She was dressed professionally, her face glowing with confidence and peace. Felix, I'm sorry for coming without appointment. I needed to tell you something. Sit down. What is it? I'm getting married. Felix felt a small pain in his chest, but also happiness. Congratulations. Who is the lucky man? His name is Chidi. He is a teacher. We met at a community program where I was catering for an event and he was teaching adult education classes. He is not rich. He earns 80,000 naira a month. But Felix, he is the most kind and gentle man I have ever met. He knows my whole story, how I messed up, how I chased money, how I lost you, and he still loves me. He says he loves me for who I am now, not who I was before." Felix smiled genuinely. "That's beautiful, Alice. I'm happy for you. I came to invite you to the wedding. I know it might be awkward, but you are the reason I have a business today. You are the reason I learned to value character over money. I wouldn't be here without you. It would mean a lot if you came." Felix thought about it. Then he smiled. "I will come, and I will bring a wedding gift." Alice's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, Felix, for everything, for loving me when I didn't deserve it, for forgiving me when I hurt you, for helping me when I needed it. You showed me what real love looks like. It's not about money or material things. It's about sacrifice, forgiveness, and wanting the best for someone even when they hurt you. We both learned lessons, Alice. You learned about the danger of materialism. I learned about the importance of forgiveness and giving people second chances. We are both better people now." At Alice's wedding 3 months later, Felix came with a generous gift. He paid for their honeymoon trip and gave them capital to expand Alice's catering business. During the reception, Alice stood up to give a speech. "I want to thank everyone who came today, but there is someone special I must thank publicly. Felix, please stand up." Felix stood up, surprised. Many of you know Felix as a billionaire, as the son of Mr. Peter. But I know him as the man who taught me the most important lesson of my life. When I was young and foolish, I chose money over love. I threw away a good man because I thought his pockets were not deep enough. But God has a way of teaching us lessons. I lost Felix, but through that loss I found myself. Felix, you gave me a second chance at life, even after I hurt you. You helped me build my business. You showed me grace when I deserved judgment. Because of you, I learned to value character over material things. And because I learned that lesson, I found Chidi, a man of true character. Thank you, Felix. May God continue to bless you." The whole room erupted in applause. Many people were crying. Felix felt his own eyes wet with tears. After the wedding, Peter said to Felix, "My son, you did well. You showed that woman grace, and look how God blessed her through it. This is what our wealth should be used for, to lift people up, not to put them down. I'm proud of you." 5 years after Felix found his father, Peter Holdings was one of the biggest companies in Nigeria. Felix was now 30 years old, and the CEO. Peter had retired and was enjoying his grandchildren. Ada, Chioma, and Ifeoma all had families now. Felix never married. People often asked him why. "I'm waiting for the right person," he would say with a smile. "Someone who loves me for who I am inside, not what I have outside. When God brings her, I will know." But Felix was not lonely. He had his family. He had his business. And most importantly, he had purpose. He had turned his story into a mission to help others. The Felix Foundation now helps thousands of young people every year, paying school fees, giving business loans, sponsoring skills training. Margaret had graduated from catering school and now ran a successful restaurant. She never forgot how Felix gave her a second chance. Jeff's logistics business was now worth millions. He employed over 50 people and was known as an honest businessman. Alice and Chidi had 2 children, and their catering business was one of the most popular in Lagos. They named their first son Felix. One evening, Felix stood on the balcony of his Banana Island mansion, the same place where he first met his father 6 years ago. He looked at the stars and talked to his mother. "Mama, I wish you were here to see all this. I wish you could see how God turned our suffering into blessing. But I know you are watching from heaven. Thank you for raising me well. Thank you for teaching me to be kind, even when life was hard. Everything I am today is because of you." A gentle breeze blew, and Felix smiled. He felt his mother's presence, her approval, her love. Felix's story spread throughout Nigeria. News channels featured him. Magazines wrote about him. But what people remembered most was not his wealth, it was his character. They remembered how he didn't forget his roots, how he helped the people who were kind to him when he was poor, how he forgave those who hurt him, how he used his wealth to lift others up. Parents told their children, "Be like Felix, stay humble, work hard, treat people well whether you are up or down." Young people learned, "Don't chase money and forget character. Don't use people and throw them away." Real success is not just about having money, it's about who you become in the process. And everyone who heard Felix's story learned the most important lesson of all. God can change your situation in one day. But true wealth is not in your bank account, it's in your character, your integrity, and how you treat other people. The end. Moral lessons. This story teaches us that we should treat people well regardless of their status, because you never know who they might become tomorrow. Character is more important than material wealth, because money can disappear, but your character lasts forever. Real love is not conditional. Love based only on money or status is not real love. Bad company corrupts good character, so choose your friends wisely because they influence your decisions. Pride comes before a fall, so stay humble whether you are rich or poor. Forgiveness brings freedom, because bitterness only hurts the person carrying it. Second chances matter, because people can change if given the opportunity. Use your blessings to bless others, because true success is measured by how you help others rise. Patience and integrity are always rewarded, so keep doing good even when it's difficult. Finally, remember that your current situation is not your final destination. God can change everything in one moment. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Comment what you learned from this video. Thank you.